Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson, joined as always by fellow hosts Johnny Paulus and Miki. Guys, welcome in.
Hello.
Hello, Miki.
Yes.
I'm happy to be looking at your face and not my own in a mirror.
We're gonna have to explain that.
You're gonna have to explain that one. But how are you doing this week, and what you got going on?
I am fantastic this week. What do I have going on? I have a lot going on. I have life, terrible YouTube comments.
This terrible YouTube comment thing. Johnny, before you got in here, Miki, you're just gonna have to explain it. I'm sorry.
So I don't know. I put shorts up on YouTube every day. I have a new short that comes up, and today's comment was, I hate that I would rather stare at my face in the mirror than look at you. So I just responded with, that was actually a pretty damn good insult.
Sick burn, bro.
I literally have no retort. Man. I'm an adult, but don't get me wrong. Like, I had my knack. I freaked out on knack, and some kid was like, oh, I'm a little kid and this was easy. I was like, well, your mom is easy, Aiden. So like, I like, there you go. But this one, I was like,
no, so the mirror comment, my reply would have been, did you know that most cheese graters have a mirror finish? You should get really close and scrape it up and down across your face. Thanks for that. Have a nice day.
Ooh. I guess I'm not that brutal.
Well, I'm glad to hear you're taking some internet idiot comment.
Please. I've had so much worse than that. Yeah, that was nothing. I've had so much worse.
Well, very good. You're looking healthy and somewhat rested today, more so than
still
normal.
Still sick, but getting better.
That's great to hear. I'm glad that you're doing better.
Thank you.
Johnny, welcome in. How are you doing this week, sir? Dude, Halloween. Okay, so when we moved to the place that we're at now, Mike, you've been to my place, so you're aware, but like, so our house and our next door neighbor's house, we sort of share a driveway. So there's kind of an extended little bit of asphalt. There's a good little chunk of sort of driveway in front of our houses together. And like 3 years ago, we started the tradition of, well, like we know that family in the neighborhood and they've got their 2 kids, and we know that family in the neighborhood and they've got their 2 kids, and that family and that family. And it turned into like, well, let's all get everybody here. We'll be like the meeting center, and we'll just do like a potluck thing. Everybody just kind of bring, if you want to bring snacks, if you want to bring drinks, if you want to bring some beers, if you want to bring whatever, everybody's just going to kind of bring stuff. And then since we have multiple responsible parents and we have a whole bunch of kids, everybody can just kind of like go in waves. So it's like this parent will just sort of take those 4 kids and they're gone for 30 minutes. And these 2 parents will go take those 8 kids, and everybody just kind of like goes in waves. But when you're done, you can go back and hang out and have a beer and get a little fire pit going. And we've been doing this for 3 years now. This year, I am not shitting you guys. There was like 50 people that I knew outside of my home on Halloween night. We were the happening place in the neighborhood. It was awesome. So we had for the main. I love
how I'm sitting here like,
oh,
and Johnny's
awesome.
like, it was awesome.
It was.
Yeah,
awesome.
This is my personal hell.
No, so for food, listen how genius this is. So we had red Solo cups, and then we had big bags of chips. So you grab a Solo cup and you grab like either Doritos or Tostitos. You throw them in the cup. And then we had like a little buffet bar. So we had taco meat, we had beans, we had sour cream, we had cheese, we had salsa, we had hot sauce. So you sort of put all your taco ingredients in your Solo cup, mash it up with a fork, and just eat that. Boom. Taco in a cup, no cleanup. Everybody's done. You just throw your cup in the trash. You're done. It's a done deal. It's awesome. It was delicious, Miki. You would have loved it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're talking to somebody who like, if Zoo Pals weren't expensive, I would still get them to keep my food separated on a plate. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's like your fever dream right there.
And don't get me wrong, like I do love taco salads. I love like nachos and stuff like that.
Yeah, same concept.
But to think of it in a tall cup and mashed with like absolutely not. Awesome. I would rather put a campfire out with my face. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No way.
Fair enough. But no, we had fun, man. We were the hang in the neighborhood. It was pretty cool. And considering that for the first time ever, I have a gig booked 0.3 miles away from my house. So I was able to tell everybody, hey, this Friday, be sure to go to the bar.
That's pretty cool.
We'll be right at that bar. So I think that bar is the first time they've booked me. I don't think you're gonna be able to walk in that fucking place this Friday, tomorrow night. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, for our Halloween, I mean, we live in a townhome community, so everyone brings chairs out front, and we park all the cars on the back street, and everyone sets up fire pits out in front of their house. So much more calm. Everyone has their own house to retreat to. So me and Rogue, my beagle puppy, we sat out front and distributed candy, and she got lots of pets. And then went back inside and ate some nice hot chicken tortilla soup that we made.
Yum.
And just relaxed. That was my Halloween. And
Halloween's not real big here. I mean, I dressed up as Alpha from Slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
But Halloween's not big here because it's Dia de los Muertos is more celebrated here. And so it's not like Halloween's not a massive thing here.
Yeah, I mean, you are literally on the border.
I literally, like, I drive down the street and the wall is there.
Yeah. You can throw a rock and it land in Juarez.
Yeah, if you open my front door and you see city lights, that's Mexico. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very relaxed. I think we had maybe 20 different stops of trick-or-treaters the whole night. Everyone's like super nice and comes between 7 and 8. So like you just do your thing for an hour and then hang out. So we watched some Boulay Brothers Dragula.
I need to see this.
After we distributed candy. That show's so corny, but I love it so much.
I need to see it. I need to.
I know, Johnny, that your wife is really into RuPaul's Drag Race. Have you guys gotten into Boulay Brothers Dragula yet?
Nope.
I don't know if she would love it because she loves drag, but she hates horror. Yeah. So you'll have to ask her about it. It's really good. It's very campy.
Okay.
But it's good.
Is it like gory? Like what is it?
No, it's horror drag queens.
Okay. She'd probably like that.
Yeah, it's good. I like it a lot.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. This is episode 137 of your Power Gamer podcast. As always, I begin the show by groveling and asking you for your minimal support on what we do. So if you're checking us out on YouTube, perhaps consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, perhaps liking the video that you're watching, or if you've really...
My 80-pound dog is trying to climb into my lap. I'm so...
Come on, doggy. Or if you really like what we're doing, perhaps leave a comment, even if it's to make fun of my face. That's fine. It helps us in the algorithm.
Make fun of my face too. I'm used to it.
If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple or Google, perhaps consider leaving a nice review. It helps us out tremendously, as hundreds of you are tuning into our show every week. So we greatly appreciate you turning out, but maybe hit that like button, you fucking freeloaded scallywags.
Do it.
Come on. We would appreciate it. We're going to begin this week's show, as we do every week, by first discussing the games we've been playing. Miki, you went first last week, so I'm going to throw the puck, or the puck.
You're going to throw a puck.
I'm going to slap the puck.
Throw that puck.
To Johnny to talk about what you've been playing this week. So, Johnny, what are you up to, sir?
Well, immediately after we recorded last week's episode, I had to check out Unpacking. And
so good.
Yeah, so the first night I played it, I'd had a little bit too much salad. And
that means weed.
Once I got into the further levels, it was too much. It started making me anxious. I was like, fuck, like, because in the first level, it's like one room, 2-3 boxes, cool. And then like by like the third level, it's like, Jesus, there's like 6 fucking rooms. And then the thing that would kill me is like when you're like, cool, I'm done. Then there's certain objects that are like glowing that like, no, it's not in the right spot. There were some random fucking items where you literally are just forced to go, I don't know, here? Fuck, here? All right, I'll take it to the next room. What about in here? No. What about up there? Where the fuck do you want me to put this thing? But then the next time I played it, I was completely sober and I was fine. I just like put on some music and enjoyed myself. But yeah, no, for me, it had the opposite effect, Mike. I didn't enjoy the combination of an elevated mindset and unpacking. Those two things with my ADD were not a good thing. It was too much. It was too much. But similar response to you. I don't really know if I could put a score on it, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just like a cool little 2-hour thing. So, I mean, it's interesting. And it is, you know, it does have a little bit of cheesy sort of sentimentality that's very cleverly done. So yeah, I dug it. Hellboy, Web of Wyrd. Oh boy.
Still going.
So if you remember last week, I said, I think I'm about to beat the 5th world, because I had said that you beat all 5 worlds and then it's revealed that you have to do this, shut down this machine in all 5 worlds, right? So I'm like, okay, I can do that. So I go back and I finish all 5 worlds, and then there's a cinematic and a reveal, and then some shit happens, and then they're like, okay, so now what we have to do is we have to do all 5 worlds in a row. So now I have to play the entire fucking game for the 3rd time in a row. So if I get to level 4 and I die, I start over. And to add to that frustration, the game that I thought was ridiculously painfully easy, and I got through the first 5 worlds dying maybe 2 or 3 times, not a great experience for a roguelike. Generally, roguelikes are like, you know, you die 2-3 times on the first level, you die 10 times on the second level, you die, you know, they get progressively harder, but you have that sense of accomplishment when you get there. Now with this was like, cool, first level, second level, whatever. Now that I'm on the, hey, do all 5 in a row, I can't get through one world. It's gotten like infinitely harder for no reason.
Is it a roguelike or a roguelite?
It's a roguelite, but
so you have progression elements that carry over every time that you play.
Yes.
Okay.
So theoretically, what you're doing right now,
it's the grind.
Is just going to get easier over time.
I'm in the grind now, and what already felt like a grind is now full blown get to grinding. So I'm going to add that game to my completed list because, you know, I've beaten all 5 worlds twice now.
Yeah, Johnny, you haven't beaten shit.
You told me I could be off the hook on this one.
Yeah, I was just wanting to set you up to come in here so that
you suck. All right, I'll beat it tonight. Fuck.
Yeah, did the credits roll, Johnny?
No, they didn't.
Then you haven't beat shit.
All right, fair enough.
You can quit. You can quit though. You can just stop. You can do something more fun with your time.
No,
you don't have.
I gotta beat it. I have to add it to my completed list. I also played another session of Ori and the Blind Forest. It was much better on my main computer. 144 frames a second, buttery smooth. Yeah, much better experience. The one part of the level I was really fighting through, I zipped right through. So
I had a lot of fun watching you stream that the other night. I've been kind of bummed you haven't been on.
Just been so busy, but yeah, no, I need to get
more.
back on it.
But I would have liked to have seen that. Yeah,
the game's cool. I'm digging it.
Remind our new viewers where they can find you when you do decide to.
Sure, twitch.tv/H3LLH3RO. So it's Hell Hero with 3s for E's. I typically stream later at night, like 11 o'clock or so, thereabouts, and
maybe tonight? Question mark?
Yeah, we're starting up early enough, probably tonight. Yeah,
that'd be dope.
So yeah, and so let's see, Unpacking, Hellboy, Ori. I've also been playing Final Fantasy XVI still. I am officially now at the point of a lot of Final Fantasy games tend to have that point where it's like, okay, cool, now you can like really sort of like kind of go around and like really sort of explore, and you know, they give you the reins and you're no longer like super linear. I'm kind of at that point now. So unfortunately the side quests are still dog shit, and I mean dog shit. These are the worst side quests I've seen in years. They're pathetically bad. Square Enix should be embarrassed by how bad the side quests are. Otherwise, the game's great. Combat's fun. Graphics great. I'm invested in the story. I want to play it to the end. But and then lastly, Alan Wake Remastered. I am seeing all the reactions to Alan Wake 2, and I really want to just kind of blast through the first one again. I've already beaten it once, but it's been a very long time. I remember sort of the cliff notes of the story, but not the details. So I want to play through Alan Wake Remastered before I jump into Alan Wake 2. So that's what I've been playing this week.
Well, very good. Miki, let's go to you. I've gotten, of course, to observe a lot of your gaming this past week because you, of course, are a full-time streamer.
Yes.
During the day. So again, remind folks where they can find you, and let's hop into what you've been playing this week.
I live stream over at Twitch at twitch.tv/MikiRan. And I'm there, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days a week. This week I had a lot. I streamed a lot this week because if there's an exceptionally good game that comes out, I want to play it more. So yeah, I got to finish Kona, which Mike was there for. And the best way I can describe the ending is literally Mike typed in chat, GG? We were literally like, I guess I beat the game. Yay!
It just straight up ends. Like, it's more abrupt. I said in chat that day, I was like, wow, that was more abrupt than Dead Space 2's ending.
Yes. It was like, I was like ready to keep going. I'm like, we're going across the water. We're going to this mansion. We're going to the estate. And then all of a sudden credits rolled and I was like, huh? I was so confused. So Weird. With that, I started Kona Broom, which is the second Kona. Brand new, just came out, I guess, a few days ago, I guess. Full disclosure, I got the game from the publishers. And so far, I guess I got about 2 hours into it, and it's really good. The graphics are beautiful. I'm a big fan of depth of field. I know some people don't like it, but I am such a sucker for really good depth of field. And boy, is it killer. It's set in same setting, Ottawa, middle of winter, big storm going on. And so it's beautiful because you'll have like, these like little snowy hills and in the background, you have these snowy trees, like all blurred out. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And the gameplay is better than Kona. Really, really good gameplay. And you have to look at your journal to figure out, instead of like walking up to something, whereas in Kona, it would say, take out your camera. In this one, you have to look through your journal to see what you need pictures of. So it's pretty great. I'm really excited to play more of it. I'm very happy with that. I played a few demos this week. I played a demo called Enshrouded, which, full disclosure, got it from the developer. And it was really good. It's a magic survival game. So it's sandbox survival. You build, you craft, and you have to eat. And at the same time, there's like magic. I think it's going to be good. I think it has a lot of potential. But it was. Yeah,
I did get to see. I did get to see some of that. It kind of. What did it remind me of? It kind of reminded me of like either. What's the game with the Vikings and stuff that's been.
Valheim? Oh, Valheim.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. Just looking at it, like not art style or anything.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. It's just
in terms of like gameplay, it kind of.
I'm looking at it on YouTube. It kind of reminds me of that Amazon MMO, New World. It looks a little bit like New World.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like there was another game I played called another game that I got from publisher, and you can basically fly from island to island and you can sail islands. It reminds me of that a lot.
I remember this game. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that? It was a cool game. But this kind of reminded me of that, but
I'll figure out the name of that. Okay. Because that one had some like Zelda-esque kind of vibes to it.
It was a cool game.
It was just all in like sky levels and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. I played another demo called Biomorph, which was really interesting. Side-scrolling platformer, cartoon style. And it was really pretty awesome. I'm really excited. I got the, again, full disclosure, got it from the devs. I got the extended creator demo. And yeah, really cool game. And I'm looking really forward to playing more of that. That was really cool. I played another demo called Unfollowed. Everybody's going crazy over this horror game. There are mannequins in it.
You love mannequins.
I hate mannequins so much. I can't even describe to you. I hate mannequins.
Me too. I hate them.
Hate mannequins.
Absolutely.
So now, best use of a mannequin that made me literally stop playing for a moment was the Resident Evil Village DLC. That was the best mannequin scene ever. It was terrifying. I literally had to stop. I was tears coming out of my eyes at one point. So Unfollowed was cool. Cool concept. Everybody's going nuts over this, and I gotta tell you, it was okay. It was okay. One of the mannequins freaked me out, but once you started, like, the whole concept behind it is you're live streaming your experience, and so, like, you're supposed to gain followers, and if you're not, like, they'll unfollow you if there's not enough going on, and if you die, you lose followers, and then, like, but what I didn't like was at one point this mannequin is there and you have to, like, use your phone and this, like, red laser shoots out at the mannequin. And that's where it kind of lost me, because I was like, that was kind of cheesy. I wasn't really fond of that, but people are going crazy over it, but whatever.
Yeah, I didn't get to see very much of, I think it's just Unfollow is the name of the game. I know that the dev for it is Japanese based. Did that kind of Japanese influence, did that come across in the game at all? Like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, like any of that kind of vibe, or not so much?
No, not in my opinion. No. Maybe the mannequin movements a little bit were kind of like but they weren't as jerky as the nurses. You know what I mean? So it was okay. I think a lot of people are going to love it. The red laser coming out of the phone kind of killed it for me. So I started my first playthrough of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes, you did.
I am in love. No, except for the camera. The camera angles, I literally got nauseous from the camera angles. However, the game itself, I got through 7 Colossi, right? We had a debate over whether it was Colossus or Colossi, but I streamed it for about 3.5 hours and got through 7 Colossi. And I was just mesmerized. I literally cannot wait to play more. I can't wait to play more. Wow. I was like, every time I got to a new one, I was like, this is my favorite one yet. And then I get to the next one, I'm like, I love this one. It's my favorite, like every single one. And then I was feeling bad because I'm like, they're just trying to live life, and here we are sucking the souls out of them, but anyway, I love it. Big fan. I pulled it. That was the last game I pulled from my bowl.
Yeah, so, it's one of the all-time great games, and I love, for anyone who missed it, back in the day, I just realized, like, I had my camera set where, like, I had no body. I just looked like a floating face. It's remarkable that game came out in 2005. And it's really, yes, it's made much more beautiful in that remake, but it's really not different at all from the original game. So it's kind of wild to think, looking back, and I had mentioned this previously, but I wanted to mention it here. So much of Shadow of the Colossus's game design, to me at least, kind of felt hijacked by Breath of the Wild.
I can see that. And it's funny you say that, because I had mentioned in one of the Discord groups I'm in, just a friend group, I had mentioned that I started playing Shadow of the Colossus, and my very good friend said, oh, if you're loving that, you should play Breath of the Wild, because it's very similar. And I was like, I actually started Breath of the Wild, and the controls make me want to stab myself in the eye with a fork.
Yeah.
I hate them. I hate the controls so much. But I totally agree with you. I do. I totally agree with you.
Shadow of the Colossus is a much better playing game than Breath of the Wild. Like it's a lot more straightforward.
Yes.
In what your goal is, and that's kind of what's so great about it, is it just says, you know, you're going in this direction, and you basically know that you're gonna find the thing when you get there. And then the challenges, each one of the Colossus are like the next level in the game, and they're their own puzzle, figuring out how to scale them and find their weak spot. And like that's just such a cool gameplay loop that
it's so different. It's so different.
Isn't it wild that there's not more games built like that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love it.
I think it just works so well.
I literally I couldn't. My stream was done before I knew it. And I looked at the clock and I was like, no, like I just wanted to keep going. But obviously I have to stop because I have things to do, you know. But man, I could have just kept going. I loved it.
It's an all-time great, for sure.
That game has very happy. Incredibly well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to play more of it. I'm playing more on Wednesday. I'm playing more of it.
Excellent.
Dead Island 2 came out with a DLC today. And we played it and beat it. And I gotta tell you,
did it take you a full 8 hours, or
it took 5 hours?
5 hours.
I should say it took 4.5 hours, probably. But we didn't the way they did it is actually kind of cool. So we kept coming across boxes that we couldn't unlock. We kept coming across some stuff that we couldn't get to. But we were like, all right, let's keep going and see what happens. The DLC was awesome. I'm a huge, once again, sorry, I have to say it, full transparency. I am part of the Deep Silver creator group. And so I get all the Deep Silver games from them. So, but I have to say, I played Dead Island 1. I played through that game 3 times, right? Because it was just dumb fun. Dead Island 2, in a time of unoptimized games, Dead Island 2 is absolutely fantastic. It is so well optimized, and the graphics are beautiful, and the gameplay is a ton of fun, and I feel like it's kind of slept on.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
such a great game.
It really having followed the recipe to be a total fucking failure, and then overcoming the odds of that, and really being kind of the benchmark for what a AAA game should be.
Yeah. And I think what really did it was, I mean, you know, it was in dev hell for years, but I think what did it was, I think what they decided to do was, Dead Island is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Over the top, heads being lobbed off, and like just the weapons are completely out of control. And so they kind of embrace that instead of being like, we're going to be a serious game. And they embraced that, and they just kind of rolled with it. And so we played the DLC today. My buddy Revealing Too Much and I did a co-stream, and we played through the DLC. I don't know how much the DLC is.
I was going to ask, but then I figured, you probably didn't know.
I have no idea, but it comes with the gold edition of Dead Island 2. I do know that.
I'll look it up.
And it's based, the DLC is entirely based on a sex cult called House.
$13. It's not much.
$13. So it's based on a sex cult called House, Haus. And when I tell you, the scenes in this DLC were just wild. Like portraits of people on the wall wearing latex, and there's a whole, you walk down this thing and there's like latex suits hanging everywhere, and a note telling you how to put the latex suits on and to make sure you use a lubricant called Cheek Squeak. The game was so fun. It was honestly, it's I can't say enough about Dead Island 2. I am loving it, and the DLC is well worth it. And so what they did was, we got out of the DLC, we finished it, right? And we were like, we have so many things that we didn't do there. But once you go back, you find out that as you play through more of the game, the main game, you find keys that you can use in the DLC to go back into the DLC and find these boxes and open them, which is kind of cool because I like how they kind of like intertwined everything. So yeah, highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Well, very good. You've got one more stuck in here.
I have one more game?
Oh no, you have 2 more.
I have 2 more. So you guys made me play Unpacking.
Everyone played Unpacking.
Mike forced us.
He forced us to play Unpacking.
Guys.
100%.
I think I just sold it really well.
100%. And I found myself.
If you don't play this game, you're out of the podcast, is what he said.
I found myself talking to the screen. At one point, I was like unpacking things, and I'm like livid for a second. My buddy was watching me in Discord, and I was like, is she letting some no good man interrupt her peaceful life? She finally got out of a situation. Now she's letting this guy come in. And then she goes, look what she's unpacking. And I was like, she's a lesbian.
I told you.
I told you. And so like, there was one thing that I was like, where does this stupid thing go? And it's like,
you guys, all right, both of you both questioned me and made fun of me.
We did.
And now you're back. Now you're both back in here, backing up what I was saying.
Yes, it's honestly like I pop on it when I just kind of want to chill and
Exactly.
I completely zone out. My hyper focus kicks in, so it's nice.
I'm so glad you guys understand what I mean now, because like I feel like it's kind of impossible to explain how that story is delivered, and like it's done in a really deep way that will trigger like all of your empathy through objects. Like it's very tough to explain.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really I'm digging it. And then, as you know, last week we talked about Arc and the unoptimized mess it is. So they've been working on it, and I popped into it. My friend bought me Arc because I was complaining that I want to see how it runs, and so he bought it for me. And I had to put everything on. Once I put everything down, I put it on medium, and then I tweaked some stuff based on a video I found, and I was able to get 103 FPS. Now.
Decent.
Right, but I have a 4070.
Yes, you have a monster.
I have a beast. I have a 4070 and I have a Ryzen 5 5600X, right? So I have a beast.
You have a great processor combo with that video card.
And so for it to get 103 while I'm on medium and with some things off, light shaft, light bloom off, other things on low, it needs work. However, graphically, it looks really beautiful. And I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I had a massive moment of guilt because I killed a dodo because I needed to eat, and then discovered that now there are babies in the game. And so I killed this dodo, and all of a sudden this little tiny dodo came walking up and it looked just like the mom. And I was like, oh, I killed the mother. Like, what did I do? I felt so bad. And then somebody on YouTube, I'm a nervous laugher. The clip is on YouTube, and somebody goes, it looks to me like you were laughing at the death. Or something like that. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I was, okay? I'm nervous laugher. I don't know what to tell you.
You killed the main course, and now you have an appetizer.
Mommy murderer.
Yeah, you got a little so baby snack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's time to eat the babies. They're not going to make
it in the wild. One was the main course. The other one was the appetizer.
You might as well eat them.
Finger foods. But yeah, so yeah, that's my gaming week. My gaming week. And of course, I played more Moria because that game is silly and fun. So,
well, I have some great things to tell you guys about, and I'm excited to discuss. Johnny, are you excited to hear about City Skylines 2?
Oh boy, I can't wait.
Miki, are you pumped to hear about City Skylines 2?
I am so excited. I can't hold it in.
Well, you guys have officially spent more time talking about your excitement than I spent playing this game.
I hear it's an unoptimized disaster.
Holy fuck. Moving on.
Wow.
Okay.
No, I installed it. The tutorial, having a bad tutorial when you have an incredibly complex game is bad.
Yeah.
That frustrates me.
Like, this game has got a lot going on, and it does a piss job of explaining it or walking you through things or introducing things at a speed at which any human being could digest. Like, the only people that are going to sit down with City Skylines and have fun with it, like right out of the box are like the autistic geniuses of the human race. You know, people that just innately understand everything. For us normal people without those superpowers, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
You're toast.
That's the type of game my community would make me play just to see me get frustrated. 100%.
I don't think it's fun to watch somebody being frustrated playing
because I love it.
I even popped on to watch a stream of a guy playing it because I'm like, you know, I really like city builder games. I think they're really cool. But this one's not. And so it's on Game Pass. You can check it out there if you have PC Game Pass, I believe. I don't know that if it's on console, and I don't know if it was that I would necessarily want to play a game like this on a console, but City Skylines 2 is out. It has been reviewing very poorly, which I'm not surprised. I read reviews after I had uninstalled it, and I'm not going back. So fuck you, City Skylines 2.
Okay.
Have a great life. Starfield. I keep playing this fucking game. I'm
afraid to start it. I am.
I think I'm done.
No.
You know, I really think I've moved on.
Okay.
Which is good. You know, I had a good time with it. But I'll be damned if the more I play this game, if it doesn't get fucking buggier. It's so weird.
That is weird.
So I ran into this bug that apparently tons of people are dealing with. Like the main city in Starfield is this place called New Atlantis.
Yeah.
And it's this big, beautiful city. It's really important in the game. A lot of things take place there. So there's this bug that's very common, where all the ground in New Atlantis disappears. But it doesn't disappear like for an instant and come back. It doesn't disappear and then like you leave and come back and then it reappears. It's just forever gone.
Okay.
And on top of that, to move from one part of the city to the other, there's trains. Yeah, they disappeared too. So to fast travel in this game, you can't be over encumbered. So like I just come to New Atlantis. I bought a bunch of mats that I was going to take back to my outpost and like build stuff with. And then the game decided to completely fucking break and glitch out. And so I had to dump all the mats that I just bought so I could fast travel out of the city because the fucking train disappeared. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just going to finish this playthrough because it's completely bugged and broken. And scoured forums and things, no fix for it. None. It's persistent until you finish that playthrough and come back.
Wow, that's bad.
That's
real
prime unacceptably bad. So I finished the playthrough, so I'm on New Game Plus. Yeah, Johnny, I've been putting in some work on Starfield. And every time you beat the game and like come to the main scene, something different happens. And all I'll say is I ended on a great note. I'll leave it at that because I don't want to spoil.
Does the story get more interesting each one of these playthroughs?
We can't talk about it because so many people haven't played the game yet.
Fair.
And I do want to leave it at it's still really good. You should still really play the game. But be conscious that there's this kind of stuff going on in it. Because it could be frustrating. So yeah. You have been warned, but I think I'm done with Starfield at this point. So anything else on Starfield you guys wanted to talk about before I jump? Okay.
Nope.
Spider Mike, doing whatever a Spider Mike likes. It's Spider Mike. Spider-Man 2, I have played so much of this past week. And Johnny, I am so sorry that you haven't played this game yet,
haven't touched it.
Johnny is obsessed with Spider-Man.
Fact.
Absolutely obsessed with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is your favorite superhero.
Spider-Man is my favorite fictional character in the history of the human race.
Wow. Okay.
I've read every single issue of Amazing Spider-Man, which I think they're at like 1,100 issues, 1,200. It's a lot.
It's tough to quantify what a giant step forward this is from the original Spider-Man game. Because it's literally better in every aspect, but it's not like, oh yeah, it's so much better in every aspect. Let me describe some things that are just amazingly better. We can start with the performance of the game. Zipping around New York at 60 frames per second. 60 frames means everything. So they have fidelity mode, which is like 40 frames per second, which is decent with, ray tracing and everything else.
Yeah.
But I have found that no matter what they throw at a game, it's always going to look better at 60 frames, regardless of anything else. Frame rate is king. So playing it in performance mode, they have really worked on the physics for swinging. So for old Spider-Man video game fans, it's bigger than the leap between Spider-Man 1 for PlayStation and Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is considered like the holy grail of Spider-Man swinging physics because it just uses real physics. They brought that shit back. You don't have to play the game that way. You can still use the assisted swinging where you don't spider derp into the ground and face plant and stuff. But if you want the real challenging, authentic Spider-Man 2 experience, you can completely disable the swing assist. And what's nice with it is you can baby step your way down. It has a slider for adjusting the swing assist. So, if you're like, I want a little bit more control, I don't want to feel the game's like safety net catching me when I'm getting so close to the ground, or you can baby step it down to where you really get that feel. And it's so worth putting in a little time and effort into getting that. It just feels beautiful. Johnny, what was the most annoying thing about the first Spider-Man game from Insomniac? You touched on it with Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah, I mean the side quests aren't great.
Yeah, they're awesome now. They're really good. Except for the overuse of bicycling missions. I'll let you guys figure that out once you play it. They really like showing off the DualSense's ability on a bike.
Weird.
It is weird, but it's cool and it works. And what's also cool is there's some Ratchet and Clank hat tips that are very prominent. So, and then the story. I mean, you probably picked up from the trailers that they really went all in on the story of this game, and it's just, it's so good.
Well, and that was like I saw a TikTok video with one of the game devs. I think it was an IGN interview, and they were like, at this point, between the 3 Spider-Man games that you guys have done, you've gone through a lot of the villains in Spider-Man. I mean, do you ever worry that you're going to run out? And the guy was like, no, it's Spider-Man. We'll never run out. He's like, we're not worried about that at all. And so that's like they recognize that, his rogues gallery of villains is the best. Batman is close second, but Spider-Man has so many cool villains that they can just keep making these games forever and ever.
Yeah, depending on what they do with it. I mean, how can I say this without being spoilery? I can't. I'll say something offline to you guys.
Fair enough.
Here's how I can say it. There's no rules of engagement. Think about Spider-Man and the comics, in particular, Johnny.
Yeah.
You're obviously an expert here. Mm-hmm. There's no rules. There's no plot armor.
No.
And Spider-Man 2 has no plot armor. I'll say that.
It's awesome.
And it's crazy. So I'm really liking the game. The only thing bad I can really talk about with it is I've heard, not myself, like my personal playthrough experience, I haven't had this, but a lot of people have been reporting some debilitating bugs since the day one patch. But it's so weird is because some people will have it and it ruins like every moment of the game, and other people never see it. And I fall into the latter category where I haven't seen a single one. Like literally haven't seen a single one.
Right.
So I don't know what's up with that. So
yeah, both of my kids are playing it, and both of my kids are loving it, and the only bugs we've been having is the fucking PlayStation 5 overheating and turning off.
No, that's not a Spider-Man bug.
Yeah.
Can't blame that on Spider-Man.
That's a dust bunny
I've been
bug.
getting some really fun TikToks. There's somebody who stops and listens to conversations happening on the street.
I've seen those, yeah.
The level of dialogue and how real these conversations are, I'm like, they literally just put two friends in a room and they were like, here, have a conversation about this topic. Mm-hmm. And then they have this conversation, and people on the street in the game are having this conversation. And I am like, cool. I like fell down a rabbit hole of this the other night on TikTok because I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. It was
What's
so
also
awesome.
like cool is like, I was swinging around. I saw some people playing basketball. So I decided to stop and check it out. Like there's a photo taking quest nearby. They played a real game of basketball.
Like, so
think about this for a second.
It wasn't just NPCs just shooting ball. And
normally in a game where you see NPCs with a basketball, like they'd go through their scripted motions and then
just loop.
They played a full game. It was a full scripted game of basketball with dialogue.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
It's the Amazing Spider-Man.
That's crazy.
It's really good. That's all I'll say on it this week. I got to keep playing, and I'm about 25 hours in or so. So.
Okay. You're probably 2/3 through. I've heard this one's a lot shorter than the first one.
Yeah. So having a great time with it. And then today, the game I've been waiting for finally dropped. I have become Murphy. That's right. Robocop Rogue City is out now. Seeing as how I know that our audience is completely comprised of freeloading scallywags, let me give you some fair advice. Everyone knows I'm a console first kind of guy. I didn't buy this game on a console because on console they want $60 for this game. The baseline price for it on PC is $50. But if you go over to Instant Gaming, instant-gaming.com, $30.
Boom.
Day one, $30. I'm like, okay. So I bought it on Steam. Let's dive in a little bit. It just came out today. I played a few hours of it. I've finished a few chapters. This game has no business being this good. Like,
I'm so excited for it.
Awesome.
It has no business being this good. So because on a RoboCop game, the bar is so fucking low, right? Every time it does something right, it feels like this massive success. And some of the highlights from the game are, one, you move like RoboCop. Okay, this isn't a first-person shooter that you happen to be RoboCop in. No, when you walk, it's cha-chunk, 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 cha-chunk. And if you sprint, it's just cha-chunk, 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 cha-chunk.
Right. That's really cool.
He's fucking a tank.
Yeah.
And when you aim down the sight, when you ADS, it turns on the grid and puts the outlines around everybody.
That's awesome.
The game, okay, so the game feels kind of like a gallery shooter because you're fucking RoboCop and you don't need to take cover because you're fucking RoboCop. So it kind of feels like you're playing Time Crisis and the pedal to take cover broke.
That's really funny.
Because like all these dudes come out that are like weirdly self-confident that they're going to kill you. And you're just there. It would take more effort than it's worth to go find cover than to just start shooting them in the face. And what's great is, Miki, did you ever play or see a game called Soldier of Fortune?
Yes. Wait a minute. I absolutely.
Johnny's nodding his head.
Fuck yeah, Soldier of Fortune.
So Soldier of Fortune, like back in the day, I think was one of the first.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
It was I believe it was the first-person shooter to have actual limb dismemberment. Like you could shoot someone in the left arm and their left arm would fall off.
So
very old.
In this game, if you shoot someone in the top of the head, the top of their head gets blown off. If you shoot them in the jaw, their jaw fucking flies off. It's brutal.
That's awesome. Oh, I need it.
And you know how the Robocop pistol shoots? It's that burst fire.
Yeah.
So imagine zipping someone up with that pistol, and every time one of those fucking 50 caliber or whatever rounds he's shooting hits them, just chunks of this person. Just it's brutal. It's fun. It's really fun. I was walking around an office building shooting guys with my pistol, and as I'm walking past a computer, so it's all 80s out. So all the computer monitors are CRTs. They still have the old Ford Taurus cop cars that they drive around. So as I'm walking past one of the fucking CRT computer monitors, it highlights green. So I look at it, hit X, and I pick up the monitor, and it says right bumper to throw. So I look at this guy that's shooting at me, and he throws it like Nolan Ryan pitching a fucking baseball.
That's awesome.
And it just explodes when it hits this guy and rips him in half. And I'm like,
fuck
yes.
Yeah.
Where has this been?
I need this. I need it.
So is it graphically? It's beautiful. It runs great. It looks way better than it has any business looking. Is it campy and like corny? Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Robocop.
Is it going to be a game of the year or anything? No. But man, it's good. It feels like it's got some specialness to it. I can't really put my finger on it, but for $30,
can't beat that.
It's a no-brainer.
Now, Mike, don't forget that canonically, RoboCop also shoots guys in the dick. So you got to make sure that
there's an achievement for shooting someone in the dick.
As
you need a crotch shot, absolutely,
and it blows up.
Okay, all
right.
It's great.
Seals the deal. Got to have it,
guys. That wraps up what we've been playing this week. That was a
lot.
It's so fun. It's like we have so much more to talk about gaming wise. I think that's just the best. So I'll put timestamps in for all of that so people can go check out the games that they're interested in. Johnny, Miki, it's that time of the month. No, we're not having cramps. Yes, we are talking about the game releases that are upcoming. So near the beginning or end of a month, we always go look forward to discuss the games that are coming out that we think are interesting. Are we going to talk about every game coming out in November? Hell no. Are we just going to talk about the ones that we think are worth mentioning? Yes. So without further ado, here are the November game releases that we think are worth your while. Obviously today, RoboCop Rogue City came out. I don't really have
sounds awesome
much more to say there. I guess I'll ask this question. Johnny, Miki, is this a game either of you plan on checking out? I guess maybe so. Yes.
RoboCop?
Yeah.
I have a request in for the key.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm hoping.
Steam Summer Sale 2024 when it's $15. Done.
Next up, Like a Dragon Gaiden. So for our Yakuza fanboys and girls out there, The Man Who Erased His Name is going to come out November 9th. It's coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S, X, and One, and PC. Now, I personally don't have a ton of experience with the Yakuza series. I do know that, especially since Like a Dragon Ishin came out, the series has had a huge resurgence in popularity, so I wanted to bring it up here. Miki, I'll start with you. Do you have any interest in checking out this game?
The only I have a humongous list of games that my community suggests to me. And if I can get my hands on it, whether it's somebody bought it for me or I have it or Humble Bundle or PS Plus or Game Pass.
Right.
If I have it, I write it on a piece of paper and I put it in this bowl.
I love the bowl.
I love the bowl too. So in this bowl, I do have all of the Yakuza games. However, I have decided I'm not going to play. I'm probably not going to play them on stream because I like to play things that people, if they have to lurk, they can still listen. And I think up until 7, they're not even translated. Like they're not dubbed. So
correct. Yeah, it's just subtitles.
Yeah, and so I think I took out the thing for all of the rest of Yakuza, and I have Yakuza 7 in there. And I have one of my mods and a very good friend of mine, who's been with me since my start of streaming. Every time he comes into my stream, he goes, "This doesn't look like Yakuza." So he is most likely going to say, "Hey, add this to your list." So that's the interest I have in it.
Johnny, any interest in Like a Dragon Gaiden?
So the problem here is that rabbit hole of that video game franchise has become like a massive crater.
You'd have to play the whole thing.
I don't want to fall into it because if I do, then I got to play like all 19 games or however many there are. There's so many games in this series. I've watched trailers on all of them. I don't really think it's my bag, so I've just kind of gone like, probably not for me. And now there's so many of them. I'm like, I'm just gonna. Looks fun. Glad people enjoy it. I got too many other fucking games to play.
Party game sensation WarioWare Move It comes out tomorrow on the Switch. I love the WarioWare games.
Same.
Me too.
I will probably pick this up at some point to play because they're just goofy fun. They're so good when you have somebody over to play with. Miki, any interest in picking this one up?
Probably not now, but once I am in the Netherlands, like once I'm living in the Netherlands and Pike and I are living together finally,
have somebody to play it with.
Yeah, that would definitely be something that we would play. Absolutely.
Johnny, I imagine this one will be coming up, not just for yourself, but for the boys, perhaps.
Yeah, I've never gotten the boys WarioWare game, but I mean, I remember a couple of the ones on the Wii I fucking loved. We'd get a bunch of people over to Buddy's house and get hammered drunk and play WarioWare all night. So, I mean, it's a franchise that I'm a fan of. So yeah, every time they come out with one, I'm always like, maybe I don't know. But the boys have never been like, hey, we want this. So
maybe they just don't know, Johnny.
Maybe they just don't know. I'll show them a trailer and see if they say, oh my God, we need it.
Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2 comes out on the 7th. It's coming out basically on any console you can think of. This is sort of like the Smash Brothers equivalent that's done by Nickelodeon. I personally will not be picking up this game. I'm not big on the Smash series, but I know it's a very popular franchise. So I did want to bring it up. I guess, Miki, coming to you first. Any interest in this, or is this kind of a pass?
The only reason I'd be interested is like for the community, like community night playing it, but other than that, probably not.
Johnny, same question. Is this one that you're going to pick up for yourself or anyone else in the household?
I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old boy in the house. Yes, this is absolutely going to end up under the Christmas tree. There is no question. They're going to see an ad for it on YouTube and they're going to go, Mommy, Daddy, put that on our Christmas list. Guaranteed.
Fantastic.
So yeah, we'll have this.
You'll have to have me over earlier someday so they can absolutely kick our asses at it. That'd be great.
I mean, I'm looking at the lineup. It looks like I like that Garfield's in it. I think that's really cool. I want to play
That's
Garfield.
Awesome. Yes. Is Yodi in it? Yodi dog?
I'm
Odie?
right now. You mean Odie?
Yeah, I said
Odie?
Yodi. Sorry. That's
Jimmy Neutron's
that's my
in it.
friend's
That's
cat.
Awesome.
my friend's cat's name is Odie, the dog.
Oh, and Cora's in it. I really like that Netflix show. Cora was great.
Yeah, they have some really good characters in it. I think that's what, in part, what makes it appealing. A game that I don't believe any of us are going to be checking out, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, releases on the 10th of November. Everyone's shaking their heads, so
No.
We will go ahead and pass on this. Yeah, my days of Call of Duty are...
Me too.
Well behind.
I loved zombies. I played zombies for a long time. And no.
I can't spend another 6 months of my life farming weapon camos. I just can't do it.
Yeah. I'm just... Modern Warfare 2 was kind of it for me in terms of the multiplayer. And I don't mean the one that came out last year. I mean the one that came out 10 years ago.
Right.
I sort of retired from multiplayer then. Johnny, you pulled me back in a few times.
Right.
But yeah, I think everyone's very burnt out.
Well, the shame of it is like I kind of do miss the campaigns. I always like the campaigns in those games, but then like these games never get cheap enough to where it's like $20 I'll get it and play through. It's like they're always $50, and
yeah.
It would be
if the campaign wasn't. They're always like 6 hours, 8 hours. They're always really short, but they're also really good. Like I enjoy them. I want to play them. I wish they would. If you're listening, Infinity Ward, Activision, whatever, if you released campaign only $20, I'd buy fucking all of them. Every last one of them. Give me single player only, $20. You've got my money.
I agree. But they sell so many fucking copies of that game every year.
They're just gonna they're gonna continue to swim in their Scrooge McDuck pool of money. I get it.
Yep. Yeah.
Not my money.
Next up. A game that I have not played yet that I feel like I need to play, but definitely not on the Switch. Hogwarts Legacy comes out on the Switch November 14th. Johnny, we all know, of course, that you've already played, beat, and loved Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, it's a great open world game. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I don't believe, or perhaps you will be buying it for the Switch. I don't know. You tell us.
No, I'm not going to be getting on Switch, but I was intrigued because I remember when this game came out and then it was announced that the Switch version was going to be like heavily delayed because they had to optimize it. And then like the internet meme, and I even took part in it, where it was like, here's Hagrid in Hogwarts on the Switch, and it was like N64 graphics, like square face with like 10 pixels. So the meme was just like, how bad is this game going to look on Switch? Yeah. And before we did the show tonight, I went on YouTube and watched a couple videos of like actual gameplay footage of this game on the Switch, and it looks fine. So like, I got to give them props for actually like taking the time to like really optimize it, because especially with these licensed titles where it comes out on all the consoles, a lot of these companies just phone it in and they'll release it as totally half playable dog shit on Switch.
Mortal Kombat
1, perfect example. But no, I was expecting to go on YouTube and watch gameplay footage of Hogwarts on Switch and just be like, oh God, why are they even releasing it? But no, look, it looks fine. So, if you're into the Hogwarts thing or the Wizarding World, or you want to play it, portable, it kept me busy for, 70, 80 hours. It's a big game.
Miki, any interest in this
Absolutely
game at all?
not. I will not support that rotten bitch. However, I also don't I have a few friends who've played it, and I've never been like, shame on you. I personally will not support her. I think she's a rotten, terrible person. And not because of her views, but because she uses her powers to push her views.
Agreed.
But like I said, I won't, scream and holler at my friends. I've gone to my friends' streams to go see them play and see if they're enjoying it. And it looked fun. Like, it looked like a good time, but I personally won't do it.
Yep.
But it did look like a good time, yeah.
Yeah, as I've mentioned on the show before, I've never read a Harry Potter book, and I've never watched a Harry Potter movie. I'm, of course, aware of Harry Potter because of its popularity. But other than a strange relation to Call of Duty, I have zero interest in Hogwarts Legacy. And
Wait,
for me, yeah, the thing that's I find interesting about Hogwarts Legacy is in a long time it's one of the first games to outsell a Call of Duty game in the calendar year.
Right.
And of course, it did this without the largest console install base, the Switch. So now it's coming out for the Switch.
Yep.
It's going to do the thing all over again. You know, for people that only gamed on the Switch,
yep.
that had to wait. You have to imagine that it's going to sell millions of copies.
Yep.
On the Nintendo Switch. I don't, help me out with this, guys. I'm kind of in this position where it's like I feel obligated in some way to play it because of its popularity on one hand, but on the other hand, I'm just straight up not into Harry Potter. So what do I do with that?
I think it's a game that you would genuinely enjoy. I think it's a type you like this type of game. It is very much like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It is one of those big open worlds, but there's tons of side quests, there's tons of places to go, there's tons of places to explore. It's a fun game. But you know, on what Miki said, supporting or not supporting, I mean, we've had that discussion in depth here many times, and I completely support her choice to not. And you know, it is what it is. You know, you either eat the Chick-fil-A sandwich or you don't. And
I personally don't know enough about the game to say, yeah, even if you don't know Harry Potter, you'll enjoy it. I really don't. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess
I think you would. I think you would enjoy it.
I guess we can use this moment for anybody checking out this part of the show. Maybe leave a comment and let me know what you think. Should I check out the game on Johnny's recommendation? Should I ignore it for social reasons? Should I ignore it because you think it's bad? Let me know what you think, and we'll read whatever you have to say on our next episode. Because I am coming up to a point where I might have time to check it out. I think I want to go with Final Fantasy though over Hogwarts. I think that's more my thing.
Yeah.
Because I really don't give a flying fuck about Harry Potter.
I feel like even if all of that wasn't going on, like, did I enjoy the Harry Potter movies? Yes. Do I like Harry Potter enough to say I'm going to buy this game and invest the time in it? I don't think so. I feel like I have too many other games that I love. You know, I just got Song of Nunu, which I am like unbelievably excited for. So like, I just feel like there are so many other games that are like, if I feel like the Harry Potter game is like, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, then it's like, you have to play this, you know?
If you're a huge Potter fan, it is a must play. Absolutely.
I'm just so perplexed by how well it sold. You know what I mean?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. That has surprised me through and through.
I see the kitty cat.
That is Toriel.
That's Thanos.
Is it? Oh yeah, it's Thanos. Yes, he's the floofiest boy. Right, moving on. Turok 3 Shadow of Oblivion remastered. Coming out basically everywhere. We don't have to spend a ton of time on Turok unless either one of you have something you want to chime in here.
I mean, I was a huge Turok fan. Like back in the day, I loved Turok a lot. But I took a look at the remaster and I was like, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you watch that trailer. I mean, it's from that era of 3D graphics that you just you gotta burn it down and rebuild. You can't.
That's what I was gonna say. You can't take it and say, let's make it
1080. Look, it's remastered.
Let's make it look a little prettier. No. Like if they want to do, I would be excited if they were like, we are re-releasing brand new Turok games. I would be all over those. Like I would be losing my shit over it. But I looked at the trailer and
how have they not rebooted Turok?
They did reboot Turok.
No, did they?
Yeah, like 2011, Xbox 360 is where it was released.
Oh, maybe that's why, because I'm not a 360. I'm not an Xbox.
It's okay.
person.
I only know about it for the same reason I put it on here is because I'm a huge Turok fanboy. I have all of the Turok games. One of my favorite memories of the N64 era, which I still remember very distinctly, was playing Turok on the kiosk at the Blockbuster in Severna Park. And at the time being completely oblivious to the controls being inverted only. So in Turok, the analog stick in the center of the N64 controller is camera, as it should be.
Yeah.
And the 4 C buttons are movement, as they should be, but it's inverted controls only. And now when I try and go back and play it, like I'm so hardwired for non-inverted that I really
couldn't.
I really struggle playing it anymore. But I still love those games. The original Turok is one of the best fucking video game shotguns ever. So satisfying blasting those stupid velociraptors in the face.
I still have a stack of like 90s era Turok comics too.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is out on the 14th, being released on all platforms. On the 15th, I can finally shut up about the upcoming release of The Last Faith. I've been talking about this game on our show for about 2 years. Quick refresher. Check out The Last Faith if you like Metroidvania games, if you enjoyed Blasphemous, if you're like, man, wouldn't Bloodborne be cool as a 2D Metroidvania? The Last Faith is almost here. I'm so excited for this game. Miki, is this something that you plan on checking out?
Yes. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I was offered a key for it. I have to look through. Or I was offered to apply for it. I can't remember, but yeah, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Johnny, is this up your alley enough that it's something that you're going to check out?
I'm just going to have to add it to my mountain of Metroidvania games that I have to play. And I'm just going to have like a quarter of a year where I just pretend that video game releases don't exist and I just play Metroidvania games. I have such a stack of them. Like, I mean, I got to play Grime. I got to play
Grime is so
Bloodstained.
good.
I got to play Ori. I got to play Ori 2. I mean, I got so many fucking Metroidvania. I got to play Blasphemous. I got to play Blasphemous 2. I mean, there's so many good Metroidvania games. Like, I haven't even touched Guacamelee 2, and Guacamelee 1 was the shit. There's so many Metroidvania games out there, and this one just looks like a masterpiece of Metroidvania games. So, yeah, take my money. I'm in.
Yeah, so for me, it's a little bit different because this is a priority release.
Yeah.
This is a game where I will stop playing whatever else I'm playing the moment it comes out to play it, because some would probably argue that in reality, this has been my most anticipated game because I've been talking about it nonstop, basically, since the first moment I laid eyes on it.
Yeah,
so,
you have.
Last Faith is due out on the 15th. Persona 5 Tactica is coming out on the 17th of the month. Miki, I feel like we have to pass this one to Johnny, don't we?
Absolutely. Although
Johnny,
he has me sold on it. I will tell you that.
Dude, okay, so I know the Persona game series is like very, very well loved, and I think it's one of the best reviewed game franchises out there. I mean, like every game they release, just crazy reviews. And for reasons that I cannot quantify, I've never touched a single Persona game. However, before the podcast, I pulled up this game list and said, well, let me watch these trailers for the games I haven't seen. And then I said, holy shit, it's an XCOM game. Mike is aware that I am a slut for XCOM style turn-based tactical games. I fucking love them. Midnight Suns, XCOM, Lamplighters League. This is the shit that I'm into. I love these games. So this is a Persona game I might actually pick up. And since Mike just told me that Persona 5 Royal would probably be my game of the year, I gotta fire that up too. So, but no, this one looks awesome. I mean, it's a turn-based tactical, isometric game. It looks awesome. I'm in. It looks great.
Persona 5's right up your alley. I mean, the game really gets legs and starts going at about the 60-hour mark. So you're going to love it.
That's all I need.
Super Mario RPG
God, yes,
remake
please.
Comes out November 17th. I know where I stand with this. Super Mario RPG is one of my all-time favorite video games ever. Yep. Johnny, I think I know where you stand with this because we discussed it when it was announced, but Miki, throwing it to you, where do you stand on Super Mario RPG? Is that a game that you played in the past or have any interest checking out?
The last Super Mario game, and probably my favorite I did play a little bit of Odyssey, but my favorite Super Mario game ever was Super Mario Sunshine. It was like I couldn't get enough of it, and that was literally the last Super Mario game I've ever played. Would I be down to try Super Mario RPG? Yeah, it would be.
Did you ever play any of the Paper Mario games?
Yes.
Okay.
A little bit. Only a little bit.
So Super Mario RPG was a one and done. But its spiritual sequel was Paper Mario for N64 and then the Paper Mario series. It's a isometric view platforming RPG, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So a lot of times when you have isometric view games, it's like a tactics game. That's just the camera view for jumping and platforming throughout the levels. And when you bump into enemies, the best combat soundtrack of all time comes on. And B, that game's combat is just the best. It really is. It's a turn-based system that has audio cues like baked into the animations and things, where if you hit a button at the right time, you can block attacks or do more damage. And the story and the visuals and the music is one thing that I'll never shut up about with Super Mario RPG. It's just wonderful. The game's so overdue. I mean, this game came out originally, Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong, 1994?
Something like that, yeah.
Or 95? I think it was 95, actually. Yeah. We haven't had anything from it since. It was a collaboration between Squaresoft and Nintendo that yielded what quite literally, by a wide margin, is my all-time favorite Mario game and story. It's literal perfection.
Timeless classic.
I was just looking at a recent trailer, and yes, I would absolutely.
Yeah.
I know I would have a lot of fun playing that.
Yeah. SNES Mike said, Chrono Trigger, Super Mario RPG, Zelda Link to the Past, and that was my standard for many years. It's just one of my all-time favorites. So absolutely, I have 2 days to beat The Last Faith. God damn it! Before Mario RPG comes out, and I have to stop everything I'm doing when that game comes out.
Regardless of whether the kids ask for it or not, it's going to be under the Christmas tree. It might be like when Homer bought Marge the bowling ball with his name on it, but I'm definitely going to buy the kids Super Mario RPG.
I think as parents, we've all done that, though. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time on my birthday, Amy bought me 2 electronic pepper and salt shakers for herself?
No.
Yeah, true story.
What's an electronic
that's the whole story.
Salt and pepper shaker?
So you know, like how normally you grind out the pepper or the
like
salt?
A button?
Yeah. You go.
She wrapped...
it was awful because there's like no feel to it. You can never.
She wrapped that and put your name on it, and we're like, "Here's what something that you want." Clearly,
yeah,
got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got my son a late birthday present, and to be fair, part of it is I'm very excited for it myself. So, where we live, we don't have Taylor ham where we live.
Oh.
So I ordered him Taylor ham.
Nice.
That's gonna be a good day.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of old ass video games, Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection. So think back to the olden days of some games that were really fucking hard. The Jurassic Park games that came out like in the SNES and Genesis era, they're getting bundled together and sold. And they are coming out on the 17th everywhere. I think Limited Run Games is doing a physical release for those that feel like you need to own this physically. You could find that there. I have some interest in the physical copy. I don't know if I want to subject myself to playing them again, but I do kind of want this for some reason. Does that make sense?
I understand, but
the original one that came out on Genesis and Super Nintendo, just the first Jurassic Park game.
The overhead one?
Yeah.
That one's okay.
That one's all right. But the Game Boy one, like
you're selling this.
You're just knocking Miki out of her chair.
Well, I mean, I watched the trailer for this, and I'm like, oh, I remember that one. And then it's like, it goes to the next one. And you're like, I'm not gonna play that. And then it goes to the next one. You're like, I'm not gonna play that either. Okay.
Yeah, Jurassic Park 2, the side-scrolling one, is basically a copy paste of the Alien 3 video game, but now it's Jurassic Park and terrible. Comes out on the 17th.
Yeah, it's a big no for me.
Yeah, I figure that's a no across the board. Yeah. Other than me, that just wants to have it on the Switch for some reason, even though I own all the original games.
Because of course you do.
Of course. Rollerdrome has been out for a long time. But if you only have an Xbox, you have not had a chance to play it yet. And good news, on the 28th, Rollerdrome finds its way to the Xbox. I guess fair question. Not do you have an interest in playing it, but have either of you, Miki, we'll start with you. Have you played Rollerdrome, or have you seen this game before?
I've seen it, and I think I want to say I applied for it on one of the sites that I go on to apply for keys, but I don't think I ever got an answer, which happens so much. It's infuriating. So, but I'm pretty sure I applied for it.
Johnny, Rollerdrome, did you ever pick that game up? I think I remember you being interested in it pre-release.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the trailer and my first thought was like, it's Jet Set Radio with Uzis, and that just sounds like a cool idea. Like, I want to play Jet Set Radio with Uzis. Yeah. But no, I've never touched it. It's been out for a year, and I just have had too many fucking things to play. But it looks cool. I mean, I like the art style, like the super cell shaded, and like you're like going. It's like kind of like Tony Hawk going up ramps and doing tricks, but shooting people. It looks like fun. It looks like a total game that I would like fall in love with and play the shit out for 4 days and then never touch again. But haven't touched it yet.
I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I kind of want it to come to Game Pass. Yeah, does that make sense? Like, I kind of feel like at this phase in its life, that would make sense. But
yeah,
I don't know.
If it were on Game Pass, I'd fire it up for sure.
Yeah, me too.
Finally, it's worth mentioning that the day before has been pushed back. The game that may never live up to the amount of anticipation that it's had. The day before, of course.
I don't even know if anticipation is the word.
Well, let's discuss. So the day before is a survival horror online game that sort of looks like The Last of Us and The Division had a baby.
Yeah.
If you haven't checked out any trailers of it. Now, if you're extraordinarily astute and watch the original release trailer for it, you may be confused that you are watching a Call of Duty Black Ops trailer. That's not the case, though. They did just lift every camera shot from that game's original release trailer. And therein lies something interesting to talk about. The game's had controversy surrounding it since pretty close to the time that it was originally announced. The people developing the game are fucking assholes. They're very rude to people on social media. They seem proud that they don't have a marketing department. If you've looked through any of their past tweets, they have said as much. And they have been accused of not paying their workers. Just all sorts of bad around this. But then it remains relevant because what they've shown of the game looks intriguing. Looks like it could be good. Looks like it's a good idea.
It looks too good, though.
That needs to be executed properly. So the day before was supposed to come out in 8 days. It has instead been pushed back, I'd say, Miki, a fairly reasonable amount of time to next month. So what do you make of that?
So when I first saw the trailer for this game a long time ago, like a long time ago, and I was super pumped for it because I love MMOs. Um, I love open world games like that. I love survival games. And so I was like, this is going to be amazing. And I got really excited for it. And then I saw that, like, I watched the first trailer and I was like, I remember the very first trailer I saw of it, it had people like, it was like, communicate with your team. And it was like, hey, Bob, I'm going into the gun shop to go see if there's any. But you could tell it was just like voices of people who weren't playing the game. They were just doing voiceovers of the game. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, that's a little bit strange. And so then I started looking at more and more of the stuff. And then the game got pushed again and again and again. And so I started really delving into it. And I was like, wow, this game is like never going to come out, or it's going to come out what they've done with other games. This same group with other games, they've come out with games that are partially finished and they put them out in early access, and they brought all the money in from people buying these early access games because it's going to be worked on and the game is going to be great and this is our roadmap and this is what we're going to give you guys. And then they scrap the game, and they've done it again and again and again, or they've sold it off to teams, but by then the game is like trashed because people are like, look, what, this game is garbage. And so I feel like this is going to go that same route because it's just, that's big. Like, to have an MMO, to have a game of that size and these promises that, and just, but yet not like really giving us a lot of insight.
Right.
Something's wrong. And so I'm done being excited for it. If it comes out and it's amazing, then I'll be excited. But until then, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Johnny, we had done a string of episodes about a year ago about a project called Abandoned, where there was all sorts of weird marketing, and the person working on the game kind of intentionally misleading people into thinking that he was Kojima for a while, and all this weird stuff to it. And that game, of course, still hasn't come out. It kind of has similar vibes to the Day Before. I'm curious if you've given Day Before much mental real estate, if this was on your radar, if it's really something you've looked at or not.
The first time I thought of that title was when I read the layout for today's episode. Game was not on my radar at all. So I went and I watched the trailer and I was like, shit, this looks cool. Why is there controversy? And then I started going through the YouTube videos and went,
the rabbit hole.
Got it. Too good to be true. Understood. And I will never, ever fall for the early access thing again. It's just not my bag, especially in that like horror-y, survival-y online. I'm not, there's too many of those games where we've been promised a million things. I throw down my $50 and then they go, hey, guess what? Version 1 is coming out next month. You've been waiting for 2 years. And then they release it. You're like, it's the same fucking game.
It's the same fucking thing. 7 days to die.
Like Rust. Jesus Christ, Rust. Oh my God, the amount of countless hours I lost in that game. And they never did any of the things that they talked about doing. And it's still a huge hit. Millions of people play it. It's a shadow of the things we were promised. And I just, so early access is just, it's a no-go for me. If you know, unless it's something like proven territory, you know, like I bought into Baldur's Gate 3 just to show my support, like, but I didn't really touch the early access. I kind of would, like, every 6 months I'd install it and play it for an hour just to see how it looked and then go, all right, cool, wait till it's done. But otherwise, like early access, it's almost always a scam.
Early access is scary. I have found some really great games. The devs of a game called Raven's Watch gave me the game, and it is fantastic, and it's an early access game. I saw it was early access and I was like, but every once in a while you can come across some good ones, but those are like smaller games. I feel like when you have a game that's supposed to be the scope of the Day Before, for it to come out in early access, it's different if it comes out early and they give you this gigantic play test and you can play it for a while, and then it's like, okay, things are great. while we work on stuff, let's put it out in early access for a very discounted price.
Yep.
If you get in on it, that's awesome. But a game like that, I can promise you it's going to come out full price, early access.
Yep.
And it just takes your money.
Well, and if they believed in the product and they really wanted to prove something, they do like an open beta or something. But they're just not going to. They're going to give you a trailer and then they're going to go $60, please.
You know what question I want to ask? How in 2023 do you not have marketing?
That is wild to me because social media is everything.
Well, just stop and think about it for a second, right? Everyone, not just our hosts here, but everyone stop and think about that for a moment. What does it take to have marketing in 2023? What does it take? One fucking part-time person, right?
Yeah.
Can handle probably at least making tweets here and there to say, hey, look, here's an update. Respond to a couple comments, not be a flaming fucking asshole on Twitter.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't take much. And when you're talking about a game that has the development support and the financial public backing that a game like this has, it's fucking inexcusable that that's not present. So I think even just that one thing to look at and focus on, right?
Yeah.
The goal of making a game is to fucking sell it to people.
Yep.
So what's the point of making a game if you don't have any kind of marketing? Not even a person? Are you joking? That's such like an oversighted thing to me that's out there. I have no interest in the game. Sort of in similar reason, Miki, to your outlook on Hogwarts. I'm not going to support this bullshit. Like, I'm interested in it because I think it looks cool, but then I think about the people who are making it, and I think about what they're doing and how they're behaving and how they're acting, and then I think I really don't want to reward that behavior.
Yeah.
So I'll watch somebody else play it. If you can get some free keys,
if it comes out.
Yeah, if it comes out, if you get free access to it, okay. I mean,
I don't know, man.
That's
I feel like these people, with the way they behave, like, it's so crazy because I come across so many publishing companies and devs who have really great PR people, great marketing teams. They have like creator managers. I got given an amazing demo for a Souls-like game called Crystalla that's going to be coming out. And the marketing on that game, their TikToks are amazing and the marketing is beautiful, and the creator manager who I'm in contact with is just wonderful. And so like those people from the day before, they don't seem like the type of people who'd be open to a smaller creator such as myself. They would want somebody gigantic, but I think in the end that would also bite them in the ass because somebody gigantic who goes to play this game, they're going to be like, wow, this game is a pile of shit. If it's a pile of shit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, enough airtime for them.
Yes.
But
Amen.
I just thought it was interesting in the same way that we were interested in Abandoned.
Yeah.
It's just a strange thing.
It's really weird, yeah.
Before we wrap the show, just one quick thing I want to chuck out there for my own personal curiosity at Johnny. I remember watching you contemplate your existence playing Curse of the Dead Gods. And Raven's Watch, of course, was the following game from Past Tech that Miki had mentioned.
Yep.
And I never followed up with you. Did you ever check out Raven's Watch?
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. I bought it, played it for 10 minutes, and immediately uninstalled it. I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do.
Oh Lord.
God, I love that game. I love it.
No,
I
just was like, what am I supposed to do? I guess I'll go over here and I killed those things. Now what?
Yeah, it's not hand-holding. It's not.
Well, I literally had no idea what I was like. I just keep walking around trying to kill shit? What do I do?
We literally had to like go through and figure everything out.
Yeah, had there been a tutorial of like, hey, this is Raven's Watch and this is what it does, this is how it works, and I mean it's in early enough access to where it doesn't do that. And again, you've just heard my thoughts on early access, so I went, give me my money back for now. So it wasn't like this game's a piece of shit. It was just like, it's not ready for me to like. I'm not gonna like overly invest time to try to figure out. I'll wait till, because I really did like Curse of the Dead Gods, even though it made me want to punch 12 holes through my computer monitor. That game is fucking hard. Holy shit.
Yeah, but totally your type of game.
It's one of the hardest roguelikes I've played. It might be harder than Returnal.
I think that wraps up the game releases, guys. Anything missed, or are we safe to move on to this week's final segment?
I think we can move on.
There is one quick game I added there, The Invincible, which is based on the book, The Invincible.
Oh. Okay, tell us about that. I'm not familiar with it.
It looks fantastic. So it's coming out on the 6th of this month. And basically, you are in a spacecraft called the Invincible. And you're not on it, but it's based on this spacecraft that is uninhabited. And the gameplay looks really beautiful. And I feel like it's one of those games that's kind of going under the radar. Like a lot of people haven't heard about it. The only reason I found it is because I found it on one of the sites I get keys from. And I was like, what is this game? And it's coming out this month. And I feel like nobody's really talking about it. And it looks beautiful.
I saw this game on IGN, actually. They had posted an article about it, I think today.
Huh. Okay.
I might have to go back and read. Let's see. Yeah, no, they posted a full game review of it. Interesting.
You know how I feel about IGN reviews.
You know how we feel about IGN reviews, you mean?
Yes. The feeling's mutual.
Yeah.
I feel like I have never come across more biased reviews in my life.
Not even biased, just strange. You know what I mean?
You know, when I lost total faith in IGN was when one of the people couldn't get past a Cuphead tutorial. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, I think I remember gathering that the Invincible it's a game style that I really like. It's technically a walking simulator. Yeah. So for people that are like, walking simulator, that sounds dumb. That's games like Firewatch, games like
Go play Firewatch.
Firewatch was spectacular.
Such a great game.
Gone Home, Journey, Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, What Remains of Ethan Finch, or Ethan Finch.
Finch.
Edith.
There's Edith Finch, and then there's Ethan Carter is another one.
Got it. I combined the two.
Yes.
Stanley Parable, another one. Of course, the Kojima game, Death Stranding. So it's a really good genre of games with a really stupid name. But I'm definitely interested in it. I fucking hate that IGN opens a game up like this. It's like, yeah, it's a 5 out of 10. It's like, what the fuck is a 5 out of 10? That's got to be awful.
Yeah.
Is this awful? That's what they gave it, Miki. So we'll have to see.
Whatever. I literally, like, IGN can literally suck my ass at this point. I trust zero of what they say.
Yeah, they give out 10s like candy, and they give out 5s like candy.
They give out 10s to things that shouldn't have 10s. Mm-hmm. I see it all the time. I'm like, you really gave that a 10?
Yeah.
Whatever. IGN is
back
IGN.
in the day, a 10 fucking meant something.
Yeah.
Power Gamer Podcast has given out 1 10 in the history.
What was your 10 to?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. Okay. Only one. Only time it's happened.
Quite simply one of the greatest video games ever crafted.
It's really good. Yeah, interesting. Mickey, great call out on the Invincible.
Yeah, I watched a video of it and like within 30 seconds I was like, it's Firewatch in space. I'm sold. Done.
Yeah. Yep.
Amen. So yeah,
I'm super excited for it.
And what's the release date on that, Mickey?
The 6th.
Shit, that's 3 days from now.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, it is.
4 days from now. 4 days. Well, it's almost 3 days from now.
I'm looking at it on Steam.
It just passed midnight here on the East Coast.
I'm looking at Steam and it says planned release date November 6th. So, yeah, we shall see. I might have to check out if I can scoop it for cheap off Instant Gaming and give them some money to support them.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
Mickey, Johnny, it's time for this week's final segment.
Yes.
Which will have a brief one-up here.
Okay.
So one-up is a segment where we each throw out one thing that we think's interesting. It could be gaming related or it could be anything. If you want to talk about a delicious sandwich you ate, that's fine. If you want to talk about a cow you saw while driving down the road, that's cool too. Whatever you want, it's time for one-up. So Johnny, you went first on the games we've been playing this week. Mickey, why don't you lead us off on this week's one-up?
Well, I know Johnny's very excited for my one-up. So Pike and I, my partner and I, watched No One Will Save You, which is an alien invasion flick. And it was really good. It was really good. I was, you nailed it when you said you don't even realize there is zero dialogue. There's like 2 things said.
Yeah, it's so weird.
The actress
in a good way.
in a good way. The actress was absolutely phenomenal. Like she was everything that she conveyed through simply her actions and her face. Her emotions was absolutely fantastic. There was some of it that I was like, why? You know what I mean? Like, and if you see the movie, you'll know what I mean. Like, why? But the end of the movie, I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, it was good. It doesn't beat my favorite Alien movie, which I don't even count Alien. When I talk about favorite Alien movies, I don't count Alien because
it's in a protected category.
Yeah. That's like in a bubble, right?
It's my all-time favorite movie. Yeah.
My favorite Alien movie is probably Attack the Block. I don't know why. I am obsessed with Attack the Block. That is my favorite Alien movie. So it didn't quite cap Attack the Block. Okay. But it was a great movie. Yeah, very, very good movie.
Yeah, in the alien invasion category, it's definitely up there. Unexpected. Yeah.
Well, and another one of the things that I really liked about No One Will Save You is a lot of movies that fall under like the creature feature category. It's always the same format where it's like the first third of the movie, maybe we get like a hint of something weird happening, and then the next third of the movie is like we see a blur in the background, and then we like, no, this movie is like 15 minutes in, it's like, oh no, we're here. It's in the house. It's looking at you. We're doing this for the whole fucking movie. And for that, I love it. They didn't.
Yeah, it's
they
just a different kind of tension.
You don't see it. They don't do that. Movies don't do that where it's like, here's the monster 15 minutes in, and we're going to be dealing with this for the rest of the movie. Yeah. And that's awesome.
And I can't say much without spoiling it.
Right.
But I love movies with an unexpected ending.
Yes.
Like I've always said, what was that movie with Bruce Willis with the asteroid that was coming down?
Armageddon?
Yeah, I've always said I wish movies like that, like just let the world get destroyed once.
No,
I'm tired of seeing love stories at the end. Like
if they had played it out like with their idiotic plot decision, it's like, who's right for the job drilling this asteroid that's going to take out Earth? Yeah, we need to get us some good old blue collar miners.
Yeah, we'll send them up into space. They'll
send
be
them
the
into
guys.
space. It'll be fine.
They'll save the Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I like movies with like different endings, kind of the same thing with like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Mist, but I hate that movie, but I love that movie. So good.
I love it.
But I hate that movie. I promised myself I'd never watch it again. And I watched it again with Pike because he'd never seen it. And I started crying 2 seconds into the movie. But I love movies with very different endings. And so I think that was one of the things I loved about No One Will Save You was that the ending was not what you were expecting.
Yeah.
Johnny, moving on for your one-up this week. What do you have?
Loki season 2. We're 4 episodes out of 6 down, and finally, for the first time in like 3 years, we have a Marvel title that actually has like stakes. Like shit matters. Things are happening that like will have an impact on things. Whereas like the problem with the most recent Marvel era is like they cast their net so far wide that like nothing is connecting anymore. But now with Loki, I'm really enjoying that. It's big, and Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston have like this really awesome bromance, and I just love seeing
Owen
those
Wilson's
two together.
in it? I've never seen Loki. I love Owen Wilson. Though.
Owen Wilson is a TVA agent. So the plot of the Loki show. Have you seen Endgame?
No.
Okay. So
I've lost interest. I've lost so much interest in
like
those movies.
10-second spoiler. They go back in time because they have to get the stones, and one of them is that cube. And Loki from the past takes the cube and disappears. And then season 1 of Loki is the Time Variance Authority. There's this agency that handles branches in time. So when somebody does something that is not supposed to happen within that timeline, they go and they nip it in the bud. And so that's what this is Loki gets taken back to the Time Variance Authority. And it's
Wasn't there a movie about that? Matt Damon?
Well, so what's cool is like it's almost like a Doctor Who-y sort of thing. It's like every episode they're going back in time, or they're going to another dimension, or they're going here, they're going there. But yeah, the main guy he's with is Owen Wilson, and the chemistry between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston's pretty awesome.
Okay.
But season 2 is great, and I'm really enjoying it. So for any Marvel fans or people that have been falling out on it, Loki season 2 is awesome.
Okay.
Good old Marvel. I know Mike's so poo poo on everything Marvel right now.
I've been over Marvel for quite a while.
You know, Marvel's kind of like the best smelling fart. Because it's still a fart at the end of the day, isn't it? On to my one up.
The fact that you phrase it as a question.
Most successful cinematic franchise in the history of cinema. And yeah, it's a fart.
Yeah, that's not saying much for humanity. My one up this week is a good cinematic thing. I watched the movie Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Which I had never heard of before. I completely missed this. I was popping through my Netflix and I saw The Kid with the Drums, and I'm like, oh, there's a movie about musicians. Click.
J.K. Simmons.
He got the Oscar for that movie.
J.K. Simmons as Terrence Fletcher is the best J.K. Simmons you will ever see on screen.
Fully agree.
Ever.
Yes.
So I just got caught off guard by this movie. The movie trailer pitch is Andrew Neiman, who's played by Miles Teller, is a young jazz drummer. He goes to the most prestigious music school in the United States. It's not called Berkeley in the movie, but it's basically the equivalent of Berkeley. And his goal is to become the next Buddy Rich, like one of the all-time great jazz drummers. And he's completely obsessed with it. And J.K. Simmons, who's Terrence Fletcher in the movie, is the professor of the lead jazz ensemble for the college. So imagine someone trying to get in to the most prestigious music school in the world's top jazz program.
Right.
That's kind of what the movie's about. And J.K. Simmons is an absolute fucking menace.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a musician that's been in formal training before, I had a violin teacher that used to tape tacks to the side of my fretboard to teach me proper hand posture, because she was tired of seeing my collapsing hand on the fingerboard. So whenever I would slip up, I would get pricked by a tack. And so like when I saw Terrence Fletcher as this arriving maniac, I related to it so much to my early musical instruction. Mm-hmm. And even like the deeper message of the movie, that like that fucked up shit is actually what drove me to get really invested in music to where, you know, if I hadn't had those moments, I probably would be a schmuck versus, you know, and this is like breaking rule one, but I'm not bad at instruments. I've put a lot of work and time into them over the years and am quite proficient in playing. It's why I'm out playing tonight. Before the show, I had 2 rehearsals that I had to do before I came here. So like I so related to this movie on a deep level, and like I can't recommend it strongly enough. I don't know how it would hit to a non-musician, if you would understand it or not, because I can't remember the time in my life where I wasn't a musician. So like I really don't know if that connects with people. But Johnny, you said it won awards, so I'm assuming that it's fairly popular.
It got Best Supporting Actor, Best Picture, and Best Adapted Screenplay. So yes,
wow.
It was a motherfucker of a movie, and it kind of swept the Academy Awards in 2015. Great film.
Okay.
It has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's masterpiece. Yes, it's an excellent film.
And you can watch it on Netflix. So that's my one up for the week. Miki, any closing thoughts?
No, I'm excited for Song of Nunu. I'm excited to play more Shadow of the Colossus.
I'm excited for you to play more Shadow of Colossus.
I put Mirage on the back burner for now. I'm excited to get through Kona. I'm excited to get through Kona 2 so I could start Alan Wake 2. Mm-hmm. And I have to find time to start Spider-Man.
You need a clone. Johnny, any final thoughts this week?
Be excellent to each other.
Damn it. Okay, fine. I'm sorry for shitting on Marvel again. I apologize, Johnny.
You have had countless hours of fun in Marvel. You've just decided that you've had too much of it, and you're just not going to let it in anymore. I get it. But...
You know what I like? I like the cartoons. I like the video games. But like the movies and TV shows are kind of driving me fucking nuts.
Have you seen Shang-Chi?
Yes, Johnny.
Shang-Chi was awesome.
Before we leave, I'm just going to point out one thing, right?
Yes.
When you were pitching Loki to Miki, what was the question you asked?
Had she seen Endgame?
Enough said. Because none of my problem with Marvel is that it's all mediocre and none of it stands on its own. So like you have to be sucked into this vortex of mediocrity.
No, I'm not going to accept that. No, I fucking fundamentally disagree. You can watch Shang-Chi completely disconnected from any of the other movies and fully enjoy it. You can watch Doctor Strange from the very beginning and fully enjoy it.
The only
ones that you're going to be like lost in is if you watch the 4th Avengers movie and you haven't seen any of them. But sorry, name a movie franchise that doesn't fucking do that. You don't watch Alien 3. Watch Alien 3 without watching the first 2 and tell me you can follow the fucking film. No. Mm-mm.
I mean, Prey.
Yeah,
Prey, fine. Yeah, but
there's actually lots of examples, and there's no other example other than Marvel that has so fucking much. I mean, it's basically the worst argument you've ever.
Are they making too much content? Yes, but there's plenty of movies that you can watch within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, completely disconnected from any of them. You do not have to sit down and watch every single one of them to follow the movie.
Well, sure, but if you're just going to name the origin story movies, then yes, it's not going to be possible.
There's a fucking lot of them, bro.
I know. There is a lot of
Black Panther stands on its own. Captain America stands on its own.
It's all the origin story movies kind of, for somewhat the most part, stand on their own.
Okay, so if you like the origin story, then maybe you just watch the next Captain America movie. Do you have to watch all the other movies to make sense of the second Captain America movie? No. If you like the first one, you're probably going to like the second one.
Why haven't you played Yakuza?
Trilogies of films, bro. I mean, what the fuck?
Why haven't you played Yakuza?
Why haven't I played Yakuza?
Yeah, we talked about it on the show.
Because they take like 70 hours, and I don't really like Japanese games that are like that style of game where you just button mash waves of people. I don't know. It doesn't look like fun.
I thought it was because there's so many of them.
There is a lot of them, and if I fell in love with one of them, it would be a massive rabbit hole that I don't want to go into.
Yeah, it's Marvel is its own thing, and it's very like my main issue with these TV shows is if you refuse to keep up with them, or you refuse to keep up with the movie releases, and it's really not been a problem since after Endgame. Can we agree? Post Endgame, everything is so interconnected that if you miss something,
I completely disagree. That's my complaint with what they're doing with Marvel right now. They're not fucking connected. Like, you watch the after credit in Shang-Chi and you're like, oh, that's cool. What's the reveal for that going to be? I don't fucking know. It's been 3 goddamn years. We still don't fucking know. So that's my problem with what they're doing now is they have so much shit and they're not connected. So you can watch She-Hulk without watching anything else that they've ever done, and you will laugh your fucking ass off and love the show. But if you're just going to actively be like, I've watched enough Marvel and I'm not going to watch any of it else, regardless of critic reviews, regardless of one of my best friends telling me it's awesome, I'm just going to say, I don't watch these anymore. What did you say about Star? I dragged you to my fucking house and made you watch Andor.
Mike
I pressed the enter button on my keyboard, which mutes the microphone. Mike, you said you didn't want to watch any more Star Wars. And then Andor came out, and I physically fucking dragged you to my house. And how do you feel about Andor?
It's great.
It's the greatest Star Wars thing that's ever existed, correct?
Well, you'll remember my main quote is, man, I wish it wasn't Star Wars. It's so good.
But that's a stupid mindset. I mean, that's just actively being like, well, I've decided that even though I love sci-fi and even though I love action and even though I love adventure, because it has a Star Wars label on it, I'm not going to watch it. It's a contrarian stance, and like, I'm just saying, if the trailer comes out, you see the Rotten Tomatoes score, and you go, I'm not interested. Like, Shazam 2 came out. I haven't fucking seen it. I have no interest in that movie.
I just think most of them are boring and bad. Like, it's not complicated. There's no contrarian whatever. It's like, just most of the Marvel stuff that's come out since Endgame is just not good. Like, it's not some controversial stance that I have. It's, we're calling the kettle black here. The shit sucks. And that's kind of just been where it's at. Like,
I mean, yeah, no,
we haven't had any. Yeah,
his face is in a weird spot. I agree.
So Miki is now caught in between, agreeing with me after ripping my head off about how I feel, and then no, wait, Mike, it's completely valid. So
no. I am agreeing that in the last few years it's been rough. You took the stance of Marvel movies bad.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, suck my dick. Winter Soldier is like Avengers. Avengers is up there with Raiders of the Lost Ark, bro. Come on, end this conversation. There's far too many amazing Marvel movies for you to just throw them all in the trash can.
You put Avengers up there with Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Fuck yeah, I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, because there's clearly there's nowhere for me to go here. It's like the worst game of entrapment ever. I can't get anywhere here. Not allowed to say bad things about Marvel.
No, just, poo-pooing the entire thing is annoying. That's all.
I've poo-pooed all the TV shows, and I've poo-pooed all the movies since Endgame. That's about it. That's about it. I've poo-pooed everything Star Wars since that new fucking terrible trilogy came out. I'm not apologetic for that.
Listen, I loved Rogue One. Rogue One's my favorite.
Yeah, Rogue One is fucking awesome, but
as an old school Star Wars fan, like somebody who's loved Star Wars forever, and there are so many people who are like, you can't say it's better than the original Star Wars movies. Yes, I can. Rogue One was absolutely stupendous.
Yeah, Rogue One's
Have you watched Andor yet?
Not yet. Mm-mm.
It's even better than Rogue One.
Yeah, you'd like it. Like it. Well, it's not better than Rogue One. It's part of the story. It's better than Rogue One. But 7, 8, 9 are terrible. Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, Johnny, that shit was great.
I never defended Book of Boba Fett.
Oh, you were coming after me from how I look at Star Wars.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even finished.
It's really bad.
No, but my point is that I watch them and then decide if I like it or not. You decide you're not going to like it, so you're not going to watch it.
No, I watch it, and then what happens?
You haven't watched. You have not watched 70% of the
what haven't I watched?
shows.
What haven't I watched?
Miss Marvel.
Guys,
What haven't?
we need to end this.
No, I haven't watched
Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
She-Hulk.
I haven't watched Miss Marvel.
She-Hulk.
I haven't watched She-Hulk.
WandaVision.
I watched all the WandaVision.
Okay,
It's
so you
terrible.
watched one show because I know you didn't finish Loki.
No, but I did watch it with the intention, but then it was so fucking bad I turned it off.
Yeah, you watched like 2-3 episodes. We have to end the episode. You and I could argue about this for 12
We can
hours.
go as long as I want. We can go as long as I want. I don't like it. Just chill. It's the same thing with Divinity, right? You eventually conceded that I was allowed to not like something. I just don't like it. Like, it's not a big deal. You're allowed to like it. You can love it, but
Yep.
I don't know. There's so many that have not been good that, yeah, it does make it kind of tough. Like when something like Andor comes out, to give it the time of day, because, you know, it's surrounded by so much that I didn't like. It's like, you know, if there was a bin of oranges, right? And all the oranges that I can see look like shit.
Yes.
But then I have to move a couple of them to find this beautiful orange that's delicious.
Yes.
Well, you're not going to beat me up for assuming that all the oranges are bad when all I can see are shitty oranges.
Right. But in this case, there's the orange expert standing next to the bin going, I've gone through them. This is a good one. And you're going, the orange looks pretty fucking good. The rest of them don't look good. He's given me good oranges before. Like, I'm just saying, like, so many people are missing out on Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, and both of those shows are fucking great, and you can watch them completely disconnected from everything else, and they're incredibly charming and fun, and nobody's watching them, and it frustrates me. That's all. You're missing out on the good. That's all, because you think the whole orange pile is bad, and I'm going, it's not all bad. I mean, like, fucking Shang-Chi is awesome.
It was okay.
I really like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it was okay.
Guardians 3 as well, but I know you hate it.
That's a hell of a final thought.
Yeah.
Guys, it's time
I'm gonna have to watch Loki to be like the mediator.
You should. I don't want to, because I really hated the first one, so I'm kind of good. We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy, so long as Johnny doesn't murder me in my sleep. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
Yes.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I'm Mickey Ran.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Are you mad at me, Mike?
You didn't do the thing.
Oh, right.
What thing?
How do we end every episode, Johnny?
Catch you on the flip-flop.
He was too busy, like,
he's
all burnt about Marvel.
He's just, I don't know.
No, I feel bad.